How bad is it right now?
Marcia, it's been under a state of emergency since March 3rd. We've got gangs essentially leading the country at this point in time because the Prime Minister can't get back in. More than 4,000 prisoners released from prisons, freed from prisons that these gangs attacked, two of them. They've shut down the country's main port. They've shut down the country's main airport. You've got about 15,000 people who are now homeless because they've been forced from their homes. On top of that, you've got a beleaguered police force that's getting into firefights in streets with these gang members. They're doing enough to keep this airport shut down, and they've said they're going to continue doing that until the Prime Minister steps down. The biggest gang leader in the country even threatening that if he doesn't, it will almost certainly lead to civil war. And so as a result of this, you have the Prime Minister of a country unable to get back in, but you also have thousands of foreign diplomats as well as regular citizens stranded in this country, unable to leave. There are no commercial flights out, there are no ships going out, and so as a result you end up with having just shy of 3,000 Canadians who are stuck in Haiti right now, unable to leave. Yesterday we saw the US announce that they were pulling out some of their non-essential embassy staff to try and minimize the people who are in harm's way, but really there's nothing that can be done at this point in time. The government of Canada has said there are no plans for evacuations for those Canadians who are stuck. It's up to the Haitian authorities, what little remain of that. You've got a police force of only about 9,000 in a country of 11 million to restore some semblance of order to these key infrastructure, the port, the airport, in order to start to see some form of improvement. But as Bob Ray mentioned, that starts with trimming the violence. That starts with bringing back some form of peace, and that has been very difficult to do. It all comes back to February 29th is really when this violence started, and what happened at the time was the Haitian Prime Minister, who was unelected. His term ran up in 2022. He was supposed to step down in February, didn't, announced that general elections wouldn't be coming probably until mid-2025, and now these gangs are increasing their violence and increasing their rhetoric, trying to get him out of power.
So what, if anything, oh, I shouldn't sound so pessimistic, but this emergency meeting in Jamaica, what will it accomplish, Colton?
The big question is what do we do on the ground? Right now, you have countries like the US who are putting forth up to $200 million to support a UN policing mission in Haiti, where Kenya has sent over 1,000 extra police officers. Again, that only brings the total up to about 10,000 total police officers for a country of 11 million. Canada has pledged $80 million. 27 of that is direct support for the Haitian National Police, but it comes in increased protective equipment, vehicles, communications equipment, logistics equipment. Ultimately, what you're hearing from the UN and from the Haitian authorities themselves is that they need people on the ground. Now, whether that's a consensus that can be found at this meeting, that will remain to be seen. You heard Bob Ray talk about the need for political accord. You've heard Melanie Joly, the foreign minister, talk about the need for a Haitian-led solution. CARICOM, the UN, they've all been pushing for this Haitian-led solution, for some form of transitional government to get to those general elections. But getting there hasn't happened yet. They've been pushing for months to try and make that happen, to try and create some sort of consensus among stakeholders in Haiti, and progress there has been really quite slow. Perhaps you can get some form of increased progress on that, but unless you start to see some form of unity, I think you're right to be questioning just how effective this meeting can be, especially if the situation is so dire that the Prime Minister of the country can't get into his own country.
Yeah, can't even return. Now, speaking of getting in and out, Colton, what about the Canadians who are there and want to flee?
At this point, the government has no plans for evacuations. They said so this weekend, and that really leaves commercial flights as the only avenue. Part of the challenge that we're seeing is that there is a concerted effort by these gangs to keep that airport shut down, in part so that Ariel Henry can't get back in. So you've got 2,900 Canadians who are registered with Global Affairs Canada, who are registered as in Haiti, unable to leave. And what we're seeing is small but continued skirmishes involving these main key pieces of infrastructure, the port and the airport, that may not be causing massive damage, but they're done frequently enough to ensure that they remain shut down. And so long as they shut down, there really is no avenue off the island for the Canadians who are stuck there.